Greetings, Harbingers. Welcome to Iliester, PewDiePie's favorite channel, your realm of personal development, stoicism, and cyber alchemy. Listen, there's an orchestra behind us, so I guess we have to watch this video with orchestra. How about that? Well, let's go to the video. Finally, the last video of the 4 endings for the Human Lore series. Endless meaning when eternity bends to purpose. If you ever felt like timing is running out, but what if I told you it never truly began? This is not a Christian theological video, but I will be using some quotes from the Holy Bible to illustrate this concept of endless meaning, okay? Jeremiah 1:5, it says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." When I idealized this series, I had thought of the whole thing out, but in between I have been reading a very special book that came to me. Someone very special gave it to me. The Journey of Souls from Michael Newton. And that book is a really life-changing one. And I'm also bringing some concepts of this book to this video because it was like Carl Jung's synchronicity. It has everything to do with the things I think about, and I've never heard of this. Well, I've never given the proper attention to these matters of reincarnation, this spiritual society that could actually be out there maneuvering how things take place here on Earth and other places. So it's an incredible concept that has everything to do with today's video. So let's talk about the cosmic memory first and foremost. What if the soul is not born into the world but returns? In the Journey of Souls book, Michael Newton describes what several people under hypnosis recalled. It's pretty much a realm of peace, light, and design between the live state, where we can reflect, learn, and choose incarnations with divine guides. So we just don't fall into life, but we descend with purpose in order to learn, contribute, grow, and eventually return to the source of all things. Now let's talk a little bit about the divine design. Every life, every incarnation is not random. It could be a mission, a contract that we somewhere beyond this place we ended up choosing, not for punishment, but for expansion. Because when we think about eternity, we're still thinking through the lens of time. We're thinking as if like it's duration, right? Endurance. Something that will last for, well, over and over. But if we think through the lens of purpose, when a soul manages to bend eternity into purpose, we are at the same time achieving immortality with endless meaning. And that, my friends, I believe answers the very question, what's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of all this? The meaning of life is to give life meaning with infinite amount of time to do so. It's a good, comforting answer. Tell me if I'm being naive. Now let's dive in about Revelation. The Holy Bible actually pictures a place that gathers these features of endless meaning. So if we think about heaven, we can think about a place of pleasure, of delight. Of course, under our human capacity, it's obvious that we go on that line, but I think it's not all about that. I think it's going to be more of a society that we are going to be building with meaning for all eternity. So think about that. Think that, I don't know, let's say we reach such place and God tells us, okay, there is this huge universe with zillions of planets. Organize ourselves in groups, go there, build these planets, build amazing societies, lots of bars with cold beer, with rock bands playing, and buildings and everything. So make it fun, make it functional, get everyone happy together to enjoy. I don't know, you know. We would like how much would it take for us to conquer the entire universe on these terms, right? Learning all the languages, everything there is. Wow, imagine, we can't even fathom the possibilities, right? And I'm talking about like earthly things, so it's kind of foolish at the same time, but it's funny to think on that line. There is this place that's described in the book of Revelation. So I'll read a verse here from Revelation 21 that describes what it's called the new heavens and the new earth. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. Bad news for those who love going to the beach, right? I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride, beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." That's Revelation 21, verse 1 to 4. I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? As you may see, we have to change scenarios because yesterday my phone hit after the 10th minute of the recording while I was reading Revelation 21. And when that happens, it gets synced off and it screws the video. So here I am in the morning. I rarely record videos in the morning, having my pre-training. Let's get going. So yeah, the dog's barking up there, and here we are in the wild nature, right? So the description of the new heavens and the new earth in Revelation 21, it's something really astounding that connects us to the subject of endless meaning when eternity bends to purpose. Because we always speak about eternity on this subject, and it's common to associate the infinity, but I don't see many people talking about the purpose behind being able to live through all eternity. Like, will you ever get bored? Like, it's gonna be boring at some point. So I think when you have a purpose so big that transcends eternity itself, I think there lies the answer to everything. So let's talk a little bit about the soul's reclamation. You may think you are broken right now, that you were left behind, but it's all a process of becoming. Every scar, every mistake, every trial was but curriculum. Because this life, my friend, is just a chapter. The pain, it's just a classroom. The more you are longing for something in the past, it's called memory. I'm not cooking this coffee parts. This coffee is really good. So the soul remembers unity, harmony, and truth, and it longs not for escape but for completion. Like I said, I recently read The Journey of Souls, and it was a very special book given to me by a very special someone. And in the theory, Michael Newton, the doctor, he conducts this interview under people in hypnosis states in which he can access memories of past lives described by these individuals. And apparently, there is a spiritual society, very advanced and very organized, that follows some patterns. They describe this perfect being, which is the source of everything, the source of creation. And one thing that always got me wondering about the attributes of a divinity is why they want to be worshipped, for example. It's something that I always ask myself. Why does a deity want to be worshipped? It wouldn't make sense coming from the principle that these deities has completely emptied themselves out of their own ego. So, according to the book, this source of creation, the source of everything,
is something that has no ego whatsoever. Notwithstanding, what it really wants, since it's a perfect being, it's not to be worshipped, but to share its very own perfection, to share the paragon. I understood that the process of soul manufacturing, if you will, it's a process allowed by this single source of truth, by this creator, call it whatever you want, in which a soul has to journey back, going through all of these aspects in the spiritual world and much more in the terrain world or in other worlds, as the book implied that are other worlds, other intelligent forms of life as well. So let's take here on the earth, for example. We go through all this journey as a human, only to go back and transcend into the spiritual world, and then go into the most elevated places in this world. In the book, it talks about different auras that some spirits have. Some of them are guides. They're like advanced spirits with bluish purple auras. And there is some sort of hierarchy until it all goes back to the single source, to the creation, to the very manifestation of perfection. So we could say we are on a journey only to go back to the perfection we've been taught to become this entire time. It's not about endless pleasure, as I spoke in the second of the endings. It is simply purpose made eternal. Time for a coffee again. Now the sun is hitting right at my face. It's a beautiful background. I didn't show you here, right? It's here. It's where I live. There's a garden here. Beautiful, beautiful place. I think it's a nice scenario to end this series, right? When your spirit, your soul, discovers a cause greater than survival, beyond desire, it somehow uplifts throughout other dimensions and above and beyond, only so even eternally bend over to this kind of meaning. So we are talking about maybe the most powerful force in this universe to give meaning to the eternal. If you're feeling low somehow, if you're having a bad day, I definitely recommend you to read The Journey of Souls and challenge yourself to question your most fundamental beliefs and creeds, and seek for the truth with honesty, with intent. Seek for the hope, whether we are expected to be doomed in a black hole of entropy or become a machine with physical ability to indulge in endless pleasure for until the end of time, or even if there is a hostile being out there that wants to doom us, I think in the end it's gonna be fine. If the absent from God means endless torture or damnation or whatever, well, it's up for us then to find this meaning right here, right now, and walk this journey. It's already costing you everything, I tell you. Your latency that keeps you down, that keeps you depressed, this latent pain, you can't find strength to fight it back, right? And it's also gonna cost you everything to become the best version of yourself, to seek this kind of meaning. Sometimes it costs my sanity. It costs a lot. So it's gonna cost you everything, but you have to choose which everything you want and take action. It will cost you everything, but it's way more than worth than doing nothing and let everything consume you. So I hope you understood this message. It's a very philosophical video. I'm not here to say what is the truth, what is not. I have ideas, that's why I'm doing here. I hope you enjoyed this message. Subscribe to the channel, give the thumbs up, and see you in the next video. El Psy Congo.